Can you imagine? Oh, I'll just step in and sing on Sunday. Beautiful, beautiful, nice choice. I want to thank you both for doing our New Year's party and getting us all. Thank you. We had fun. We so thought we could all dance. It's really funny. It was like there wasn't any dancing on New Year's Eve until the lights got really dim. But then we let loose. So thank you. It was a lot of fun to start off so happy. So Happy New Year. I'm glad that you're all here to share in the message today and to be a part of the kickoff of what Mary and I are looking forward to sharing with you this year, all about your sacred self. Your sacred self. And that is based on a book by Wayne Dyer, and Cheryl, who works at our bookstore, just shared with me that they sold out in the 9 o'clock service of the book. Looks like this, they're going to order some more, and it'll be used throughout the next few months in particular. But his wisdom is delightful, and last year we shared so much of the 100-year celebration of the Science of Mind teaching from Ernest Holmes. And through the talks for me personally, it kept pointing back to the self, to that seed self that dwells within each and every one of us. And when we anchor our knowing there, when we allow ourselves to really see our world from there, everything changes. Everything changes. So we're delighted to share this, and also at this time of year, throughout many years, it's been their tradition that all of the centers go back to the first 4 chapters of the Science Mind textbook. So some of the things I share with you today also remind us of some of the base philosophy of the thing itself. What are we talking about? What is the divine? What is that? Why are we coming here? What are we looking for? Who am I? All of those questions of soul searching. So we're beginning here, looking deeply into some of these ideas. And to start, I wanted to share a story of the caterpillar and the butterfly. And this comes from a book that I got when I went to the Parliament of World Religions, Charlie and I, last November. Karma Dharma, it's called, kind of cute. And it's all about the carbon influence on our planet, but rich stories throughout this textbook. And the sharing of the caterpillar and the butterfly, I wanted to take it into kind of look at your idea of your soul and your journey so far. So we begin with recognizing and remembering that the caterpillar wriggles out and proceeds to eat the nutritious shell of the egg that its mother had laid on the underside of the leaf. Then it eats the leaf that the egg was clinging to, and it continues on for the next few weeks, eating all the leaves that it encounters. The caterpillar is a voracious consumer, a veritable eating machine, a crawling stomach. Once fully satiated and grown to its adult size, the caterpillar attaches to the underside of a twig and turns into a pupa. A couple of weeks pass by and the butterfly emerges. The butterfly spreads its wings and flies about, sipping nectar from the flowers. It is very discriminating, a light consumer. As it sips nectar, the butterfly pollinates the flowers, helping to regenerate life. I didn't know that piece about a butterfly. I just thought, oh, they're so pretty. But they are generating life. The butterfly undoes the destruction that the caterpillar wrought and then some. This is why the butterfly is a net asset to life on Earth, despite the destructive nature of the caterpillar stage. So you're probably going, well, why is she bringing that in? She's talking about sacred self. I think sometimes we've allowed ourselves to be the caterpillar a little bit too long. This butterfly within that's longing to emerge. A representation, oftentimes in spirituality, right, is the butterfly spreading its beautiful, glorious wings. It's such a spiritual symbol. And to think that it is the idea of just sipping the nectar of all the truth. Now we have been caught up, to almost trapped in the living in the caterpillar stage with our mind, chewing and eating all of the things that we think of, right? Until we're so almost hard to move because we're so filled up with our stuff. So I share that story. Think about the butterfly and the gentle nectar as you recognize the sacred self within you longing to emerge, already present. Damien and I had a quick conversation because at the earlier service I shared how sacred, if you mistype it on the computer, becomes scared. And then he added, and if you have your key finger down too long, the R, if you double it, becomes scarred. Sacred, scared, scarred. And then I said, wow, and if you don't change and do autocorrect, you stay stuck with that being scared, being scarred. When the sacred self is so pure, and it is that self that dwells within each and every one of us. And the Science of Mind teaching has beautiful ways of pointing us back to this deep self. So we're going to begin there, study into this knowing, seeking our harmonious life, cultivating the spiritual consciousness and leaning into that consciousness. So I shared a lot in the first service, so you can see that on the YouTubes or get the CD of the service. But I want to expand a little more on some of the other thoughts, because Wayne Dyer reminds us we're looking the wrong way. And that's what the caterpillar does. It's looking for the next leaf. It's looking out there, where this idea of going into that different stage of cocooning inward, look inward. And when you take yourself inward and then allow yourself to enter that realm of divine knowing, and you saturate yourself with divine light and inner wisdom, inner truth, inner faith, inner love, self-love, then you look out through those eyes. You paint the eyes that you see your world with the holy light. And then the divine is witnessed in all that you see, and we become one. Isn't that the greatest aspiration forevermore? For 2019, for now, for this moment, for today? And to know that often there'll be moments where we slip back, but not slip back so far that we can't still see. This is so exciting. We're on this journey together, hand in hand, heart to heart. So we're turning inward and allowing the door to open outward from our heart, and to be willing to receive from the lessons on our way. And The Untethered Soul is another beautiful book to explore, because it helps you see, what is this self? What is that? And what's in the way of that? And he said, there's often times, because this divine dwells within us as us, we were born with that knowing. We were born with that. It's so pure. We can breathe and we can say, I feel it. I feel it at my heartbeat. I have faith in that knowing. But sometimes we leave the seat of the self, and not often by our own will. It's just something triggers us and we've left the seat. The law of attraction will cause it to happen. Consciousness is always drawn to the most distracting object. Isn't that interesting? Because we can be doing our spiritual work, and then we go out and there's something out there, right? Something in our world. That's our trigger. Oops, I turned the news. Oh, whoops, Turn the news on. Whoop. Om's gone. I'm fascinated by what's going on here. This is distracting me. So he goes on. Consciousness drawn to the most distracting object, the bumped toe, the loud noise, the hurting heart. It's the same law, both inside and out. The consciousness goes to the place that distracts it the most. That's what we mean when we say, it was so loud it caught my attention. It drew our consciousness to it. When a blockage gets hit, this same attraction takes place and the consciousness gets pulled to the source of discomfort. That place then becomes your seat of consciousness. You feel that? Can you realize that in your own experience? As I share his wisdom here from the untethered soul, you can say, yeah, it does kind of happen that quickly. After the discomfort settles down and lets you go, you'll naturally drift back towards your higher seat of awareness. So you're never lost. Given to your own nature, whatever is drawing your attention, the seat of your holiness is awaiting you for your return. To sit there and to once again see your world seated deeply in the eyes of the divine, to see with those eyes, to paint your eyes with that holy light, so you drift back into your seat of awareness. This is where you sit when you're not distracted by any disturbance. This is spiritual practice. This is sitting in prayer. This is at that holy time early in the morning. And when you wake, you can say, oh man, it's only 4. Shoot, I'm not ready to get up. Oh, I could pray. There's nothing going on, nothing to distract me. What a holy time. And then you drift into prayer and perhaps you drift back to sleep. But it's a wonderful time. We allow ourselves not to wrestle with our moments of being awake. Why did we wake up? Perhaps a call of the divine. Sit in your seat and do your prayers. Do your spiritual practice. Sit in holy silence. So it's important, this higher seat, equally important to see what happens when you're distracted. Your seat of consciousness falls down to where the disturbance is happening, and the whole world will look differently. Levels of consciousness, how are you choosing to see it? And when you do your practices enough, you'll dive down, you'll see something, you'll watch your reaction, you're only human, and then you realize I'm also divine. So let me pull myself back and be behind all of the busy thoughts to that grounded seat that allows me to turn within and to follow a truth, to the sacred self. We're turning inward to that infinite invisible and dropping our association with form. Form can be a person, a condition, a thing. But what we look upon and what we associate with it from our conditioned mind, is also another way to pull us out. And we're saying, well, wait a minute. There's another way to see. From the seat of consciousness, where God sees all that there is a unified field that I have access to, that I breathe with, that breathes me. I am that I am. And so we pull ourselves into that glory, into that divine truth. And we trust the wisdom of the human body. We trust it. This is where the first layer of our faith begins, because we know that if we believe that our heart will beat again and again, and our breath will follow, that we're going to be just fine. And so our faith is there, just knowing that intelligence has got us. And then there's more. Oh, I want to know that more. Don't you? I want to know that. I long for that journey to that self. So Joel Goldsmith reminds us that by grasping this understanding, a consciousness that formed the body in the beginning is the consciousness that maintains and sustains it. The next level is where the divine gave us dominion through consciousness, demonstrated by that which we create, through the creative principle. And it sustains and maintains through the principle of life itself. And so these are all scripture words of truth to remind us that all of this potentiality, all of it, all the possibilities dwell within each one of us. It's our consciousness. It's our divine inheritance. It's our way. It is the thing itself. It is God. It is truth. It is love. So here we go, trying to name it. And then we get puzzled. Our association doesn't match somebody else's. We're not thinking on the same page, we think. But what does that matter? What does that mean to you? As long as you stay true to what you name as your holy ground, and you allow yourself to continue to know where you're comfortable sitting in that divine seat, you begin to see the God in all beings. So the next step is to spiritualize your thinking. Find your seat and then begin to spiritualize your thinking. Activate the truth within you. Activate it. That's just as the butterfly needs to emerge, it needs to be activated. And we abide in this great, profound truth. We open our way in, and we allow the stillness that we receive when we walk into that realm. It's directing us. This truth is meeting an inner truth, and our way is revealed. And it's this awesome journey, this quickening of the heart, the smile that comes upon you, this curiosity of this realm of what are they talking about, this higher consciousness. We're making room for the divine to be fully realized. We do our work. We must do our work, letting go of envy and jealousy and greed, letting go of lies and discontent, letting go of narcissism. Let it all go, because the Spirit of God is everywhere. And when it's realized, it cannot be denied. You cannot put it back in a box. When it's awakened before you, you cannot put it away. That's another thing, Damien, I had that conversation. When you feel yourself, when you feel the wings of your butterfly emerging, you cannot put it back in the cocoon. And you cannot force the awakening of the wings to fly. It all happens by nature, by faith, by truth. And behold, you see this presence everywhere. And you're starting to recognize, I am communing with the divine. I am cultivating the presence. And then you create this vacuum when you allow yourself to hold true, to know that you're witnessing the thoughts. Oh no, I'm being bombarded by my mind. Here comes my paradigms. Here comes my perspectives, my judgments. Where's my seat? Where's my holy ground? Let me close my eyes of duality and remember to focus on the divine consciousness of that third eye realm, of that place of the mystic realm, of this place of absolute truth, to where I lay down my soul, my sacred self. I lay it down right here, and I awaken to this greater idea. This is where we allow our meditation and our practices, our stillness, our quietness, our reverie, our moments of awe, our study of Scripture, to know truth. And then when you know truth, you know that the mind in you is the same mind. Think about this. The mind is consciousness. Consciousness, always ever present, infinite source. The same mind that was in Rumi or Jesus, the Buddha, the same mind, the same potentiality. We tap that. We tap that. We become a conduit for that. And that is when it's referred to that Christ is awakened within us, into that heart place within us. I think this is exciting. Do you? Because you're kind of looking at me like, how do you get there? What's the punchline? What's she talking about? So our mind is an outlet for this creative intelligence, this universe trying to fulfill itself through us, by us. So I speak these words, this divine love, this spirit of love. And so feel this when you murmur these words. I want you to share with me this affirmation, and you're going to deepen it as you share it. Put your hand on your heart. The spirit of love is upon me. The spirit of love is upon me. Feel that. Put your hand deeper into the heart. The spirit of love is upon me. The Spirit of love is upon me within me. The Spirit of love is upon me and within me, and this joy and peace flow forth. The Spirit of love is upon me, within me, and this joy and peace flows forth. Joy and peace flow forth. And you open your hands and you feel this actual energy. Divine peace flows forth. Joy and peace flow forth from me when I take this seat of consciousness and I allow the Spirit of love upon me, within me, to awaken the joy and the peace within me. And I abide in that, and it brings it forth in all who come into my experience. All who come into my field of consciousness are anointed by a light and a knowing and a love. I am that I am. You are that you are. You are the Spirit of love. The Spirit of love is upon you. The Spirit of love is within you. And you feel the heart quicken. Me? And doubt comes, and you're not me, because I've done some bad things. Get that behind you, because it's now. You're a human being now, and the call of the sacred self has been calling you home to the heart, calling you home. Love is upon me, love is within me, and this joy and the peace flow forth. As I recognize that, my next breath out is one of a breath of forgiveness for my way, for my unskillful moments. And what I breathe back in is more love, more truth. Ernest Holmes says, it is because it is there that you have these irresistible urges, the longing to live more fully, the feeling that life belongs to you. There is something within you beyond all doubt, beyond all fear, something which has never been limited, never limited by your acts, never destroyed by what you think you're feeling. This is the only something that can make you whole. It is the divine love. And we are anointed with that holy juice. The seed of freedom that we long for is planted in the innermost being, and we must make that discovery ourselves. So we turn within. That's what Wayne Dyer is inviting us. Let us turn within. Let us no longer look outside. Do you guys like me? Let's not go there. Let's not, am I good enough anymore? Doesn't matter. Go within. Let the seeds of truth blossom. Let the wings of the butterfly within you take form. So, this entering this invisible space, seeing it from the third eye, letting our perceptual field, our view of life, come from the sense of a higher vision. I love this idea because as we learn this today, and as we say, I've heard this before, but today I'm going to put it into practice. As I move back and I take that seat and I rise up into my chariot of knowing, as I sit in my chariot of truth and I start to see my world with holy eyes, with the eyes of the mystic, with the eyes of the divine light, when I see my world through that, you're all a light before me, a part of me, in me. I love you. We love one another. This is where we see our world from. And then something disturbs us. And as our consciousness is distracted for a moment. Oh, it went over there, it flipped. But wait, anchored in the seat of my soul is the sacred self. And so I'm choosing right here and now to let the perceptual field, let me view my life from this higher point. Let my two natural eyes that sometimes paint my world with duality, let me move them into the unified field of one. Let me actually understand what it means to raise my consciousness, to lift it up out of the muck. I'm glad that word came out right. to lift it up and to allow it to just see a greater idea. People could be hammering at you saying, yeah, but have you heard? Have you seen? What about? I understand. I understand humanity is trying to find its way. I'm so grateful I found my way. Follow me. Follow. Paint the world with the holy eyes and see my world. Come into my world. Come into my way. Come into the mystic's way. Join me. This is the center for spiritual living. The center is right here. We are a conduit of this truth. So we're beginning this year anticipating our soul's awakening every day, humbling ourselves to the still small voice, this voice of inspiration, and knowing there really is no fear. I made it up. It feels like it's there, but there's something stronger. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you guys. Well, no, I'm not. You know, we realize, well, wait a minute, I got touched by something. But deeper than that, love prevails. That's the principle of life. Prayer, Ernest Holmes reminds us, and I want to remind you, movement of thought. Prayer is a movement of thought when the mind of the one praying. It's along a definite line of meditation for a specific purpose. The answer is in the prayer and the thought. And when you pray rightly, when you pray with such positive affirmation and truth, when you allow your prayers to be so affirmative, and this is what the practitioners know, this is what they've studied, this is where they anchor themselves. And if you cannot find your way, we have that invitation. Come see a practitioner. We are here for you. Join us. Because what you can't see, we see, and we'll take you there. And we'll join together, heart to heart, and everything in your world will respond. Everything in your world responds through creative principle by your thought. It is done unto you as you believe. So here we go on this journey. We are in the mind of God, the consciousness of God, the infinite space of consciousness. We cannot comprehend it sometimes, but here's the invitation. Just have faith. Just have faith that we're all there. We're all joining it. And I invite you to feel it in such a personal way. Oh, my beloved. Oh, my beloved. There's this beautiful quote from Ibn Arabi. He says, how can I ever know you, oh, my beloved? How can I ever know you when you are so inwardly hidden? When you are inwardly hidden, how can I know you? How can I not know you? When whereversoever I turn, there you are. I turn within, I touch the glory and the love, and then I look out into my world. And this is our intention. The true definition, Wayne Dyer says, of self-awareness is discovering your higher self. Self-awareness is discovering your higher self. It's okay to work through some of your stuff, see counselors, that's good. But always let it be your path to your higher self and live joyously with that higher self in command. It is the awareness of your inner energy and the higher part of yourself. It is the connection to the divine and to all that is absolutely changeless. Self-awareness is located in the ground of your being. You recognize through seeing things that have been hidden, and the insights bring you great peace. So we start to look at this path to freedom, knowing that the subconscious within us will percolate up distractions, and we welcome them as blessings, not curses. And we look at them, this is my work. This is where I need to see. Thank you for bringing it up. Thank you for the triggers out there in the world, for bringing me an awareness, a level of awareness that allows me to reach into my sacred soul and to commit this year to be led by the divine, to be seeking meaning in every experience, every coincidence. You become more aware of this universal field of energy. We call it source, we call it intelligence, we call it love, and we're accessing it. Yeah, we're accessing it now through our work, think about the prayer. We are the divine conduit of this. You are that. You have that. And our spiritual practices, our affirmative prayer is our way in. When you're wise enough to realize what's keeping you trapped, you'll want out. Open your heart. So join with me in this moment. If you could play some background music, Judy, I appreciate that. But join me, kind of relax your body and feel this sacred self. I choose now. As I brush fingers across the forehead, I remember that here at the center of the forehead, the center where often I worry or my concern takes a seat, I feel I can just brush that away, and the gentle stroke of my own hand washes into my consciousness, and I remember who I am as I take my gaze upward and inward. The doorway of my consciousness opens more brilliantly, and I am shrouded in a light. Oh, this holy light. As I keep my eyes focused inward, upward, the glory of the divine is reminding me and calling me, guiding me, centering me. My intention is to know with an open heart that I can face anything and everything, and the sacred self is here to prevail. I can let go. I can let go knowing that everything that came before this moment has an opportunity, and it is released. It finds its way. I don't need to entertain it. I don't need to offer it tea. I can let it go. It's at the very seat of my consciousness, and I am that witness. Deep inside, I know I can go there. I am there, and I look through what has been. I am guided divinely, and I'm at the center. I am at the center of who I am. And I see before me a year awaiting my intentions to unfold, to blossom. I am here waiting for my wings to unfurl and to let go, and to now begin to gracefully and delicately fertilize the fields of my knowing, to fertilize the fields, the breathtaking fields of my experience, with the juice of my good, with the opportunities that are longing in me to be expressed, and touch my world, heal my world, touch my mother's earth, touch the holy heavens, and feel that I am a part of all of that. And what I do makes a difference. I am connected. I am not separate. My limited perceptions are dropping away, and I'm finding myself experiencing a new reality. I'm seeing change again and awareness unfolding before me. As I take flight in the butterfly wings, I take flight, and I'm breaking the chain of my reactiveness. I'm breaking the chain because I no longer can even find a remnant of the caterpillar within me. It's a memory. And it helped bring me here to my full outreached arms of love, to be in service now to mankind, to humankind, to minerals, to plants, to animals. I am that I am. I'm on my way. I am free. And what I hear, I am free. I am surrendering. I'm going to stop the battle. I'm going to realize now what it means truly to trust in the divine. For I am on a spiritual quest. We are on a spiritual quest. And it involves absolute trust. And we're going to use our energy now to make a difference. Use our energy to make a difference and not to stand in judgment. We're free. Now feel some silence. Let silence be your refuge. Yea, though you walk through the valleys of confusion, you fear no evil or harm. You walk in the company of the divine. The divine walks in you as you walks in me as me, and in each of us there's a whispering truth guiding our way. We surrender. We surrender to the sacred self. Trust. Trust in always knowing that there's a solution. And you are aware of that solution through your meditations, and the silence that surrounds you in the refuge has every answer. The inner light is shining your way. You are empowering the most authentic self, and you stand in your spiritual authority, and you shift from the levels of being victim. I am in a state of being. Let yourself operate now from this highest place as you continue to turn inward, the door pushing inward and embracing the divine, arms wrapped around the divine. Right now, what is the object of your desire in the deepest place? As you see it now from higher ground, see the butterfly wings high above all the delusion, the confusion. You're high above and you're seeing with greater eyes, greater light. You're on higher ground. Whatever you need to release, you let go, reminding yourself you are the energy. You are the energy of all creation. You are that. Remind yourself, go inward. Don't be distracted. Witness yourself in the unlimited possibilities. Surrender now all your doubts, all your preconceived notions of how you thought it was supposed to be. What has blocked this journey up until now, let it go. See it with love. Be authentic with your sacred self. Tell yourself the truth. Take a breath and be who you are. There'll be a time where something will draw your attention away. But today, planted in you is the seed and the knowing of awakening. You are that. Today, we choose to let go of judgment. Perhaps letting go of judgment at least for an hour. And then we add another hour a day, a week. I am that. There's only one. There's only one here. One love, one truth, one grace. One grace. Moving and propelling and encouraging us, urging us to come home to the heart, to come home to the seat of the soul, and to begin to see your world painted in this glory. So I know right here and now for each and every one of you, the deepest of your heart's desires, the deepest longing is yours. You're free. You're free. Breathe it. You're free. What does it feel like to be free? Every cell in your body wakes up. I'm free. Thank God I'm free. Thank God I'm free. And so it is. And so it always is.